Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be washing my makeup brushes with you guys. I figured I would show you how I wash them just in case you're curious, and I kind of go through the brushes and talk to you about the ones that I love the most and I use all the time. I have a cup that I use for my everyday brushes, and I kind of take you through what I keep in that cup as well. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of makeup content here on YouTube, and I'd love to see you again. I hope you'll subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, today I have got to wash my makeup brushes. I've been putting this off, but we're gonna do it today. So I figured I would just kind of show you what I use, and as I'm cleaning them, I guess I'll kind of go through and I'll point out brushes that I think, like, I love them, my all-time favorite brushes. Most of them you've probably seen me use if you watch my videos, but I thought if you're curious, this might be kind of interesting. I'm not going to go through every single brush. I'm just going to kind of talk about the ones that I use and love the most. But I'm going to go ahead and move this over a little bit. So basically what I use is this from Beauty Blender. It's just the solid charcoal soap, I guess. And basically all I do is I will get my brush. We'll start with this one. This is the Fenty 125 face brush. This I love. I use this a lot for cream bronzer and blush. It's really nice. But basically I get my water going, and I try to use pretty warm water when I wash my brushes, so I'll do that. So I kind of dampen the brush, and then I kind of tap it in the soap. And then I take this. This is from Real Techniques. It's just a little rubber brush mat, and it has these little grooves in it, like 3 different groove types. And I literally just basically go over all of them. And then I'll kind of rinse it. And whenever I start brushing it like this and the water starts to get kind of clear, that's when I know that I've got most of the product buildup off. Some of them clean a lot more quickly because I haven't used them as much, but like this one I use quite a bit, so it usually takes me a minute to get this one clean. Some brushes are a little harder to get clean, like this one. This one is clean, except there's like this one spot that I couldn't really get. So then once I'm finished, I usually kind of brush it back into its shape, and then I have this towel here, and I usually let them kind of hang over like this and dry overnight. So that one took a minute because it was pretty dirty, but some of them don't take that long. But I figured I'll just go through and do this and kind of speed it up, and I'll stop every now and then and talk about certain brushes. But hopefully you enjoy, and let's go ahead and get started. Obviously, this one is my Sigma F03. This is my favorite concealer brush of all time. I have 2 of them, and I love this so much. I need to get more of them because I use this constantly. I also try not to get I think this is called the ferrule of the brush wet, as I've heard if water gets in here, it can kind of loosen the adhesion in here and kind of ruin the brush. So I try not to do that. This brush used to be a favorite. This is the Smashbox Blurring Concealer Brush. So it's basically the tiny version of this brush, the Smashbox Blurring Foundation Brush. I love these. I use these all the time. But this is mainly just the same thing, a lot smaller. I used to always use this for concealer until I got the Sigma brush. I still like this. I don't really use it for concealer. I'll use it for random things like corrector under my eyes. Sometimes I use it on my eyes for eye primer. It just kind of depends, but it's a really good little dense brush. This is one I use all the time. This is BK Beauty, the 204. Yeah, it's their smudger brush. It's just a really tiny brush. It's good for the lower lash line or smudging out eyeliner. I love this one a lot. I just brought this third cup in, so this is really all my brushes, but these in this cup, I'm gonna wash all these first because I use these the most, more than I use the ones over there. So I'll kind of go through these a bit. This I love. This is the Smashbox Buildable Cheek Brush. I use this in my Patrick Ta blush palette video. This is what I use for the powder blushes. It's really good and wispy. Then I have It Cosmetics, the Heavenly Face, the one that's double-ended. So you have a bigger side and a smaller side. I use this for all kinds of things. Foundation, concealer, corrector, cream blush, cream bronzer. This is a really great multitasking brush that I really like. And my other favorite foundation brush of all time is the BK Beauty 106 brush. You see me use this all the time. I use it for foundation and again, cream bronzer and blush. This is a great brush, so I love all three of these. Here's another brush I use all the time. I really like this. It's the Smashbox Angled Blush Brush. You'll notice I have a lot of Smashbox brushes and a lot of BK Beauty brushes. They're my favorite. And this one is really good. If you like an angled blush brush, this one is great. I also use this brush a lot. I got this from the cosmetics company store, and I think it's MAC. I don't know if it's 12S or 123, 128, I don't know, but I use it for powder. I like this other than this brush does shed, which is kind of annoying. I don't have that problem with my BK Beauty brushes or my Smashbox brushes, so I don't know if it's just this brush or not. I don't have many MAC brushes to compare it to, but I do like the shape of this for powder. Okay, so these 4 brushes I use all the time, again from BK Beauty. So we have the 201, this is just a fluffy crease brush. We have the 202, which is more tapered. I use these 2 the most, probably, of all my eye brushes. And then I have this one, which is the 206. It's a pretty large shader brush. And then we have the 203, which is just a smaller shader. These are fantastic. Love, love, love the BK Beauty brushes. Okay, so my brushes are all clean now, and I usually keep them in these 3 containers. I usually put my everyday brushes that I use every single time I do my makeup in here. I normally put the rest of the eye brushes in here and the rest of the face brushes in there. I am going to get rid of a few brushes. I'll just kind of, I guess, quickly show you. I'm going to get rid of this. This is just a little Morphe M505 crease brush. I just don't need this. This brush has been washed so many times, and I just have so many more crease brushes I like more than this, so I am going to get rid of that. I'm also going to get rid of this little flat shader brush from BH Cosmetics. I have so many of these because I use this for corrector a lot, and I have others I like more than this one, so that one is going to go. Same with this. This is a little tiny Anastasia brush. I don't even know where I got this, but this brush does not wash very well. It sheds a lot, and I always feel like it's still dirty. Like, I feel like I can never actually get it clean, so I have so many that look like this. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm also going to get rid of this one. This is a BH Cosmetics powder brush. I like this okay, but it's very similar to this brush from Sephora. It's their number 59 blush, or not blush brush, powder brush. And I like this one a lot more than the BH Cosmetics one. So I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to get rid of this. This is from AOA Studio. It's just a little dome-shaped foundation brush. This is fine. I just have so many others that are a little better quality that are this same shape that I like more. So I'm going to get rid of that one. And then I'm going to get rid of this. This is from Ulta. It's a tapered highlighter brush, and I don't know. This is okay, but I never really like it when I use it. I don't really love it for highlight, and again, I have other brushes that are a very similar shape, so I just don't feel like I need it. And those are the ones I'm going to get rid of. So I'm going to go ahead and put my brushes back in these containers, and we're going to do the everyday cup first. So I'll show you what I'm going to put in here. First, we're definitely going to put the Sigma FO3 in here. Of course, I actually just used this to do my makeup, so it does have a little makeup on it now, but I have 2 of these, so that one is definitely going to go in there. So these are my 2 go-to foundation brushes. I think I mentioned in an earlier clip. So the BK Beauty 106 and the Smashbox Blurring Foundation Brush, they're almost identical. I have 2 of the Smashbox ones and 1 of the BK Beauty ones, so I usually just kind of pick one to go in my everyday. So I think we'll go with Smashbox for right now, and then I'll put the BK Beauty one over there. But those are so good. Those are my favorite brushes by far for foundation. I pretty much always keep this brush in my everyday brush cup. This is BK Beauty 201. It's just their big fluffy crease brush. I love this. I use this constantly for everything, really. For any eyeshadow I use this. Really like that one, so that's going to go there. Also from BK Beauty, I'm going to put this one in the everyday cup. This is the 202. It's just a little tapered shadow brush. I'm sure you've seen me use this a lot, but I use that with the 201 all the time. So that's going to go there. And I actually just rediscovered this brush. This is the Real Techniques Multitask brush. I just used this in a video I just filmed. I found it when I was cleaning my brushes. I kind of forgot about it, but this is really good for bronzer. So I'm thinking I'm going to put this in my everyday cup for bronzer. I used to use that a long time ago when I first started YouTube. That was like my go-to bronzer brush, and I forgot about it, but I'm going to put it back in here because I do really like it. And then for a blush brush, I always pretty much go for these 2. I either go for the angled blush brush from Smashbox or the Buildable Cheek from Smashbox. This one is just more dense and it's obviously angled. This one is really, really fluffy. So I like this for more pigmented blushes so you don't get too much. Sorry, it's Cosmo. And then I like this one for more sheer blushes. So typically I just kind of try to keep one in my cup. I'll probably do the angled blush brush. That one is also very good. Put that one over there. I also really like to keep a flat shader brush, this is actually a concealer brush, this little flat Smashbox brush. I typically use this for corrector, like my thicker correctors that are in pots or compacts. This is the type of brush I always use. I really like that one, again, from Smashbox. Just so you know, if you want Smashbox brushes, you can normally find some at TJ Maxx and Marshall's, or you can also usually find them at the cosmetics company store, and they're always on some kind of sale. One time I went and I found, it was a set of 5. I think it was included this, the foundation brush, and then a few others. I can't remember which ones they were, but I found them in a set there, and the whole set was like, I think $30, and normally one of the brushes by itself is $30. So if you have a cosmetics company store near you, I would look there for Smashbox brushes for sure. For powder, I really like to use this one from Sephora collection. It's the number 59. It's just a good all over powder brush. You can use it for bronzer too, but I like this for powder. And then I also use this a lot for powder when I want to just use it in smaller areas. This is from Sephora collection as well, but it's one of the money saver brushes. I forget what it's called, but it's one of the less expensive brushes, but it's actually the highlight brush. But it's a really good size for powder, just kind of in your T-zone or your forehead or down like under your cheekbone. Sometimes I do that under my bronzer and blush. I'll use this with a little bit of powder, and it's really good. I'm going to put that one there. And then I always keep a little tiny brush like this in my everyday brush cup. This is the Smudger, the 204 from BK Beauty. It's really good for your lower lash line or for smudging out eyeliner on your top or bottom lash line. But this one is really good, so I'm going to put that in here. Oh, and then one more I like to keep in my everyday cup is the It Cosmetics double-ended brush. I think this is called like the Heavenly Face brush, I want to say, but it has the small end and the large end. The large end is good for foundation, but it's also really good for cream, blush, and bronzer. And then I like to use this end for either spot concealing or for corrector, one or the other, but I really like this one too. So I think for now, those are the only ones I'm going to put in the everyday cup, and then I'm just going to quickly put the rest of these back in these two organizers. Alright, so one last thing, there's a few more sitting in here. These are not dry yet, but I wanted to show you just a few of them. This is another one of my favorites. It's the Bobbi Brown Full Coverage Face Brush. This is basically the same as the Smashbox Blurring and the BK Beauty 106. It just has a shorter handle, but this is also very good, really good quality. I've used this for quite a while and washed it many times. It washes really well, so I love that one. And then this I love as well. This is also still damp, but it's by Alima Pure, and it's their foundation brush, and it's a really large, dense brush. It's kind of similar in terms of shape to the Bobbi Brown. It's just bigger, but this one is what I use for powder foundation. It's just dense enough that it can give you really good coverage, but you can also kind of buff with it. It's just really good. It's the best one I've found for powders. I use it for my loose Bare Minerals powder, and then I also use it for the MAC Studio Fix powder, and I love this one. And that's about it. The rest of these are not really any favorites. I like this one okay. This is the Love is the Foundation brush from It Cosmetics. It's the heart-shaped brush with the fun confetti stuff in it. They come out with a new one of these every year. That's also pretty good, but I still prefer like this rounded kind of dome shape. Oh, I also have this. This is a Charlotte Tilbury brush, actually. It's the Powder and Sculpt brush. It's still wet also, but I like this, but this was very expensive. I forget how much it was, and I don't think it's like a necessary brush. I mean, it's nice, but I don't use it a ton. And then the rest of these are just brushes I don't use a whole lot, but I do like and I want to keep. And really that's it, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it wasn't boring, but I will see you guys in my next one. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.
Sunday morning, waking up with you. We got no plans, we got nothing.